And I'm live again. Nice. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Intuitive Insights in Tarot. With me, I'm Scott A. Yates, and with me on the line is my sidekick, helper, reader of chats, and source of wisdom, Cherie.
Well,
Hey,
I don't know about
hi.
that, but I tried.
Oh yeah, you're older and wiser than I am, and you got that female aspect. So
I
I appreciate
appreciate it.
yeah, and I appreciate you. So before I get into this reading I'm going to do on the National Guard, have they gone in yet? Because I know he said he kind of made it sound like he was going to do it, like he wasn't going to tell anybody when he was going to do it. He was just going to do it. And I just woke up. I haven't looked at the news.
I really haven't kept up with it today. I knew that they were heading that direction and that he was going to do it, but I really couldn't say for sure whether he has done it or not for sure. So maybe Colleen or Serina or somebody out there can let us know.
Yeah, in the chat, if you know, I don't think they've gone in yet because like I said, I think he was going to make them sweat for a couple of days. But let me just come over to the chat. There's a message here in the chat. I can't read it because my pinned message is covering it. Let me see if I unpin that, if I can see it. Yeah. Tug of Light.
There,
Interesting
yeah.
question about this lunar eclipse coming up on September 7th. What exactly is casting the shadow between us and the moon? That's a good question. Actually, I think I know the answer to that. Is the Anunnaki is it the Anunnaki moon that we have uh, normally do not see? No, it's not the Anunnaki moon. What you're thinking of there is Nibiru, which is
Yeah.
also known as Planet X. This is not fictional, by the way. Astronomers have said that there is like that the Earth has a twin um, star, and that there's this rogue planet they call Planet X. It's been described by science, and that's the one that people think is the Anunnaki. That every once in a while it comes near Earth. However, that's not what causes the eclipse. Um, there's something called Rahu. Have you ever heard of that, Sheree?
It sounds familiar.
So Rahu is in like early Khmer and Southeast Asian legend, and it's basically it's a black sun or body that's the same size as the moon and the sun in the sky. And the legends
Yeah,
goes that Rahu will it swallows up the sun.
yeah,
And
I remember hearing
so,
that.
anyways, yeah, it's this black body that's out there. It's a third body, and I can't go into details. And I can't remember the details now, but there have been cases where there was a lunar eclipse with the 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 sun the sun was in the sky at the same time. I can't remember. But anyways, look up Rahu if you want to know more about this. And that's a good question, Tuggle. What is that that's covering up the casting the shadow between us and the moon? Okay, I got sidetracked. Yeah. So, hey, Lacy Blue, you still didn't get your free membership. I keep giving them away. Colleen, hi Scott and everyone. She says hi, Cherie. Okay. So, the purpose of this reading here today is about these National Guard that are being moved into, and if anybody knows in the chat if they've actually gone in today, like I said, I don't think they have.
Colleen says that she hasn't heard anything, and Serena Magic says that she has no idea. LOL. So all of us are kind of know about it, but we haven't really kept up on it.
Oh, Colleen's in Chicago. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. All right, and so it was about a week or 10 days ago when uh, the president first talked about sending troops to Chicago. And I heard a soundbite, and Cherie says she remembers hearing it, but now I can't find any like proof that it was said. But they said something like people in Chicago are armed with their own pew pews, and that if the National Guard come here, that they were going to uh, like defend themselves basically from the National Guard. And
I think it was TikTok or something like that. Um, I know I heard it.
yeah, I know I did too. And then, but it got me thinking that if this keeps happening, sending these troops into these liberal cities, then something could spark off, you know. And I
Very
want to
true.
see if Chicago is going to be one of those events, or if it'll happen in Chicago. All right. I heard one time that there are more guns in Chicago than any other city on earth.
And for a city that is supposed to be a no guns city, it has an awful lot of guns.
For yeah, actually, I mean, because somebody's going to give me a hard time for saying on earth, not on earth. Probably like there are cities with more guns than Chicago, but in the U.S. anyway. Okay, so I want to change my view here. You keep cutting out every 3 words, Scott, at least on my end. Okay. Well, let me see if my internet is yeah, it looks like my internet is slow right now. So how about if I talk in a way that staggers every 3 words?
Oh, okay.
And I'm joking. So let me, but I want to make sure that I'm coming through loud and clear. Laura Barber says, great to catch you live. Great to have you here. Colleen says she can hear me just fine. So I'm going to get into it. Let me pull up my cards camera. Wham. See, I'm getting good at this. Okay. So, by the way, you see that thumbnail I made for this video using that AI generated art?
Yeah, you're getting real good at that AI.
Actually, I don't like that big red banner that's on it, but you only get like 3 images a day that you're allowed to make with the free version, and
Ah.
I that was like the last one I could do. Okay, so let's take a look at these National Guards. So let me figure out the settings first. The first card's going to be the National Guard themselves. The second card will be the Chicagoans. I had to look up how to say people who lived in Chicago. I was like, Chicagonites? Are they Chicagonites? Chicagoans? Chicagoans. And if any of them are going to reply or react with violence. Let's see. Okay, so the first card for the National Guard are the is the Seven of Pentacles. This is for the Chicagoans. Uh-oh, the moon. That's interesting. In the recent past or the past, we have Queen of Cups. This is the challenge or what's hidden from us. Two of Pentacles. So we're not getting any military cards coming up. Yep, there's nothing to see here. Not, I think it was all a bunch of bluster.
Yep.
Um, one thing about these National Guards is they're green basically. Um, they're not seasoned veterans. They're just weekend warriors. The National Guard are, and but with this moon, which is the only major arcana in the group, hidden secrets and the Queen of Cups. What's going on? Well, there's an eclipse on the 7th, right? And is that a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse? Solar eclipse, right? Anybody
Not
knows?
sure. Telga of Light would know.
Hmm. Yeah. So if the well, anyways, no, there's not going to be some like uprising of Chicagoans who are going to go in and try to take on the National Guard. They know that they have no real chance against them. However, this may be sowing a seed for someplace else at some time in the future. Um, with the moon here, there's a lot of people who may be thinking it, but not talking about it, not willing to do it. But this may inspire some people at another point. Let me see if this goes on. Hmm. Actually, I think that because I did also hear some Democrats living in Chicago are saying, "Yeah, we need them," right? I heard that, and I think what might happen is that they may do a really good job of bringing some type of like peace and law back into the streets, kind of bringing things back to a simpler time when people can walk the streets without fear. I'm saying that because of the 6 of Cups I'm looking at right here, and I think people, the Chicagoans, are weary of all of the gun deaths that happen there. And with this card too, it's like they've had enough of it. I think that that was all a bunch of bluster about there being some type of armed resistance. And I think it's actually going to show people, hey, life is better like this. So I think it's going to actually maybe even get other places saying, hey, come and do that here.
Great. That's
Now,
what we need.
yeah. Now I'd like to ask people in the chat if you have any questions about this. Is there an angle here that I'm not seeing, or or maybe a follow-up question on this topic?
Telga of Light says it's a lunar eclipse.
It's a lunar eclipse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I had in the moon showing up there. Hmm. I wonder if there's any link with that moon showing up there in the lunar eclipse. Okay. Um, so can you think of any other questions regarding these National Guard being sent out to these other places?
I know that after they have cleaned up so much in DC, and then so many people in Chicago were going online and begging Trump to help them out. I think after them might be Colorado, but I'm not for sure.
Oh yeah,
It,
that's where like they had those gangs going in and taking over apartment buildings and things like that.
right, exactly. And I know ICE has cleaned up a lot of that, but by what I understand in the news, Colorado is still pretty much being run by the blue, even though it's not really a blue state. But unfortunately, with the cheating, is being portrayed as a blue state. I remember when it was red.
Which one?
But what I Colorado.
Call again.
But yeah, what I did see online real quick today is California is thinking about splitting itself down the middle along the coast and doing blue along the coast and red on the other side. So is there anything to that?
I was reading this chat from Mojo's mama. Can you repeat that, please? Sorry.
I saw online today that there's some news outlet where California is, or the people of California are thinking about breaking California into two parts. The coast with the blue and the inside
Right,
as the red.
right. Uh, do you mean like making two different states or just two different demo like regions or
Well, by what I gathered, two different states.
okay.
California is split.
Yeah, I'll read on that. First, I want to read this great comment by Mojo's Mama B. The name Rahu originates from the Sanskrit meaning seizure or eclipse. That's really interesting. This
Mm-hmm.
reflects Rahu's mythological role of causing solar and lunar eclipses by swallowing the celestial bodies. That's right, Mojo's mom. Yeah, when I was in Cambodia, um, just for a couple days, I was doing a visa run, and I had a friend living in Phnom Penh. I went to the National Museum there. I spent several hours there, and that Rahu was one of the things I learned about when I was there. So that's interesting. Okay, so splitting California into two states, is that a possibility? Northern California split from Southern California because of the water. That's what Tug of Light was saying. They were talking about that. So I think California should just become its own state. I mean, its own country. That's what I meant.
Then we can all ignore it.
And then just send all since if you look when you look at the map, like how people vote, it's like all red, and then only the cities are blue. So take all of those
Yep.
blue people from the city and send them to uh, make California its own country, and then just send them all there and leave the rest of us alone. Well, I guess not me
Yeah.
because I don't live there, but okay, they talk about splitting states in Oregon, Washington. Okay, so let's
Hmm.
make this wider than just one. Let's say is there ever well, I guess we're talking about
The West
a,
Coast.
a civil another civil I don't want to say the WAR word too much. Um, but I mean, it looks like things have gotten so divided between. And by the way, I'm apolitical. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I don't play that game. Uh, I'm an anarchist. I think we should have no government. I think we should be ruling ourselves. as individual, starting with the home, village, city, state. That's how it should be, and run by the elders of those places. So like the eldest in the home, the eldest, that are of sound mind and body, and so the elders should be the ones who are controlling the thing. Probably the women, to be honest with you. Um, okay, so is there going to be like a period in time when we have to make some kind of geographical split because those two parties will never, or those two ideologies will never agree? Will there have to be a new country created? That's the question, and that goes along with what you were saying, Shereen. Oh, let me pull my cards up. Oh wow, that's a that's an ace of swords, and I like literally cutting the country apart.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some truth in it. And there's a two of wands, which lends credence to it as well. Knight of wands, so much passion and about this. And holy crap, I'm
Wow.
we may be onto something here. Um, yeah, because that's the two of cups, a two, and another two here, two of swords, and another two here, and two of wands, birthing something new. Oh my, okay, and I've got a full house, twos and aces. It's a winning hand in poker for sure. I'd go all in on that. Uh, so this is a possibility, guys. What do you think about that, Cherie? How would that work?
Well, if we put them on the west side of the uh, uh, oh, it
Just
is cracked, where they've been
give
saying California going to
give them
slide off.
California. Just right off California. I mean, it's that place has gone to hell anyway. And I mean, with the fires and the big one
Um,
that's coming.
yeah, with the earthquakes and the fault line, and I'm surprised that California's hung on this long.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
So
it's
it's, who's lived in California? Tug of Light lived there.
Serena.
Who's Serena Magic lived there, and I've never I've never even really been there. But occasionally when I was in Florida, I'd meet some people from California. I never uh, really liked them, you know.
Well,
I
we've been
couldn't
saying for
imagine what's that?
yeah, we've been saying for years, if you get out of California, don't bring your California ideas with you.
Yeah. Yeah, so look, this is an unequivocal yes here with this ace of swords. How could that what would it look like? Let me pull a couple more cards. Eight of eight of wands and another ace. Now we've got two threes of a kind. Three aces and three twos. I've never seen that before.
Hmm.
It's something that could happen very suddenly and taking by surprise. So this is saying that, and with this military card in the background, this could be a military thing. So we could see a second American civil conflict.
Wow, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, don't take that as a certainty in the cards. Maybe there's a symbolic way it will happen, and it won't be literal or something. But there's definitely a divide between these two parties that will never come together. So there has to
Mojo,
be some type of separating of the two.
Mojo Mama said, I've also heard that California and West Coast could break off due to quake, which would be along the fault line.
Yeah,
Um,
that goes back to the Edgar Casey map and predictions. And whenever I talked about this with Honey, she was sure that it wasn't going to happen. I'm not so sure. Um, Especially the Cascadia subduction fault. I mean, is way overdue.
our part of California goes with Mexico. I don't know if we'd give up any land to Mexico. But then again,
What
Mexico is supposed to end up being part of America along with Canada.
part of California? Yeah, no, yeah. Oh, well, that's that whole unifying Canada, Mexico, and America, making one cohesive country out of them, right?
Correct. Now, I don't know if we're still on that timeline, but
Right,
by
right.
what I that was the goal at the time, which was a couple of years ago. And the way we've been jumping timelines, I'm not really for sure what timeline we're currently on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I really just try to stay in the moment, live in the moment, roll with the punches as things come. I mean, you know, I moved to Southeast Asia, so these things don't really affect me as much. Northern North America is, yeah, it's going to be called uh, chaos mix. All right, well, listen, guys, I'm going to keep this a short and sweet one today. I'm going to give you guys a chance to ask questions in the chat if you want any follow-up questions as to what's going on with the National Guard rolling out. Well, actually, we could ask a couple more questions about this. It's being challenged in the courts now, and
Yes.
this first judge has said that it was illegal. Now it's being appealed. Of course, he was a Biden appointee, so maybe we should look at if that's going to hold up, because if this appeal is uh, is overturned, then that's going to open the gate for Chicago and everywhere else. You know what I mean? So let's look at this ruling, this court ruling on on this. And what is you seem to know a little bit more about this than I do. What is the legal precedent? Is Trump acting outside the Constitution?
No, when he called in the Emergencies Act, he has the right to do it. But the
Oh,
lower
that's
court,
right.
yeah, but the lower courts keep trying to stymie him. And the Supreme Court is just going to have to get off their duff and tell everybody that according to the Constitution, that all these lower courts cannot stop the United States president from doing anything that has to do with our securities. And that's where we are, is waiting for all of this to go up to the Supreme Court.
Okay. Yeah, so this will be a good question to ask about this ruling coming up. Um, And this is interesting. SW says that California used to be red. I didn't know that
Yeah, it did. It was.
since until 92.
Same as Colorado. Colorado used to be red.
Oh, that's right. Reagan was governor back then.
Yep.
That was the first presidential race I ever voted for. And I voted for Reagan. I was 19 years old. I remember the only reason I did is because I got out of class because I was still in high school when I was 19, and they pulled up this mobile voting van, and they came into my classroom. Anybody here? 18 or up? You can vote. I'm like, yeah, it's me. And yeah, I liked Reagan back then. Okay, so let's see how the courts are going to rule on the National Guard. So here's the first card's Donald Trump, Six of Swords. This is him shipping the military out across the land. Ooh, the devil. So that tells you what side the courts are on. Or actually this is that judge who stopped or who ruled it illegal. Two of Swords. Another two. Hmm. Well, this is saying that Trump is on the side of truth and integrity, and the Sun. So it is going to be it's going to go back in favor of Trump.
Oh, yeah.
That really this judge is more like a rogue element, but he's also kind of being used to bring this to a higher court where it can be made be judged on. I need to draw a couple more cards. So he's got nothing to worry about because he's going to be found um, within the law, to be within the law by doing this. What are you guys saying in the chat here? I see it moving up. A lot of people, good people are still here, says SW. I guess she's talking about in California. Yeah, that she brings up, or he or she, SW brings up a good point that all of these good people who maybe lived there for a long time, they would all have to leave. Uh,
Yeah, but I think when it comes down to it, if it does split off and people do want to leave, there's going to be help. And, I think that it's all planned for.
yeah. Okay, guys. Well, I'm gonna end it here. Um,
And we all know that Gavin is Gavin point 2.0. We know that's not the original Gavin.
oh, yeah, right. Okay, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me and doing this little reading on this. And that's all I got for today. I'm gonna be doing more of these. Oh, wait a second, Scott.
Uh-huh.
I need to tell you guys how to find my website.
Yep.
Okay, let me do that. Okay, so I think I posted the link in some voice note. Where it is. Is it? Yeah. Yeah. So I think I posted the link to this here. Um, come to my website, read this carefully. I've lowered my fees a bit just because it's a matter of supply and demand, you know. Right now the demand is low, so the prices go down. Right now you can get 30 minutes for $45, 60 minutes for $75, or 90 minutes for $100. That's a bargain deal, by the way, guys. Um, if you if you do book with me, I'd like you to join this Telegram group. That's where we can communicate easier rather than just having email. A lot of people don't know that Telegram has functions for audio calls, video calls, texting, everything else. It's not just like 4chan or a where you post. You can actually use it for communications, right? And you book here, click here. This will take you to my booking app. All of these times here will appear in your local time. You just click on what the one you want, you put your name in and your email, and you're set to go. After you've booked, I'd appreciate it if you come over here and choose one of my payment options and pay before in advance. That this just assures me that it's confirmed because I know if you've paid, then you're definitely going to show up. Okay, and buy me a coffee if you've never used it before. This is one coffee is $5. If you want to do an hour and a half, for example, that would be 20 coffees. So you come over here, type in the number you want, and then put your email address, and that's how you do that. And then the Cash App is really easy to use, and PayPal, if you use PayPal, make sure you choose friends and family. Okay, and with that, I'm going to say good night, and thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you all being here. Okay, take a look at the chat. Oh, I wanted to say to Gigi, because she meant, where's Gigi at? I saw her comment here.
We're up the top.
I met Gigi's daughter, did a reading for her, and I just want to let Gigi know that your daughter's lovely and she has bright, a beautiful future ahead of her, a whole new life. She's going through some major changes in her life. Um, and she's going to do great, Gigi. It was really a pleasure to meet your daughter and do the reading for her. So if you guys want to have if an experience like that, if you or somebody you know is going through some difficult times right now and they want some guidance, the cards can probably help. Okay? And with that, I'm going to say good night and goodbye and thank you guys for being here.
And thank everybody very much for being here. You have a good night.
Bye-bye.